under the field direction of head drum major Brad Morton, with assistant drum majors Amy Benedetto and Eric Allen, we proud to present the world-renowned Florida State University Marching Chiefs. Today, we celebrate a very special occasion. This year marks the 50th anniversary of athletics at Florida State University. Join us as we celebrate a great past and even brighter future. The success our athletic teams enjoy today is grounded in the hard work and dedication of thousands of individuals dating back to 1857. Every person who earned a varsity letter from both Florida State College for Women and then FSU has been invited back to join us in today's halftime ceremony. Florida State College fielded football teams from 1902 to 1904. Florida State College for Women enjoyed one of the finest reputations in the country, and Florida State University's Seminoles have been among some of the most popular teams in the country. The Marching Chiefs salute all of these dedicated individuals with this rousing march version of our beloved Hymn to the Garnet and the Gold. Our first group of honorees are the letter winners from the Florida State College for Women and the first ever Florida State University letterman. We are joined by a number of F Club members from FSCW and members of FSU's athletic teams from 1948 and 1949. Dr. Don Veller coached FSU's first football team, and the school competed in basketball, baseball, tennis, golf, volleyball, track, and gymnastics during the decade of the 40s. It was the dedication, pioneering spirit, and pride of these early athletes that built the foundation of the programs we enjoy today. As they enter from the north, let's welcome them as they make their way across the field. The decade of the 50s meant big changes for Florida State as its team moved from playing predominantly smaller colleges to take on major schools. The Seminoles started fast with an undefeated football season in 1950 and back-to-back national championships in gymnastics. The baseball team, which has never had a losing season, went to its first College World Series in 1957. The men's volleyball team won 2 national championships in the 50s, and the basketball team went to the quarterfinals of the MAIA championship. At the same time, FSU swimming and golf programs established themselves as national contenders. Entering from the south, let's salute our letterman from the 1950s. The 1960s saw Florida State's athletic department firmly entrenched and on the road to great success. Coach Bill Peterson would coach the football team over the decades, and his Seminole squads were known as some of the most innovative and exciting in college football history. He took the Tribe to 5 bowl games and produced some of the most famous players in FSU history. FSU's basketball program made great strides with alumnus Hugh Durham as head coach, and the golf, swimming, tennis, gymnastics, volleyball, and baseball teams continues to excel. And FSU competed in women's volleyball for the first time in 1968. As they enter from the north, join us as we congratulate our letter winners from the 60s. Here's a familiar music selection from the 60s that is well known to sports fans across the country. Relive the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports. The decade of the 70s started out fast for FSU with a pair of teams playing for the national championship. The Seminole basketball team played Bill Walton and UCLA at the 1972 Final Four, and the baseball team played USC for the 1970 national championship. A women's basketball team represented FSU for the first time in 1973, and in 1974, the Lady Seminole Golf Classic began. The women's swimming program began in 1976 and produced its first All-American. FSU's highly acclaimed softball program began in 1978. Oh yes, 1976 saw Bobby Bowden arrive as FSU's 7th head football coach. It was a great time for Florida State and its athletic team. Entering from the South, let's hear it for the letter winners of the 70s. Although he's a fictional character, Sylvester Stallone's Rocky served as a source of inspiration for all athletes of the 70s. Here's our version of Gonna Fly Now, the theme from Rocky. Entering the decade with back-to-back Orange Bowl appearances, Florida State's football program became a mainstay on the national scene during the 1980s. The women's golf team won the national championship in 1981, and the women's track team won the national championship in 1984. The Lady Seminole volleyball teams went to 8 NCAA tournaments. The women's tennis program began and would dominate the Metro Conference for a decade. The Lady Seminole basketball team retired the jersey at Suga, Kansas, and earned its first NCAA tournament berth during the 80s. And the baseball team advanced to the national title game in 1986. As they enter the field from the north, please show your appreciation for our veterans from the 80s. Here's the timeless sports team that will help you want to stand up and sing along. Take me out to the ball game. These athletes from FSU's team of the 1990s have elevated the athletic program into one of the most respected in the country. The decade meant something new for all Florida State followers as the Seminoles joined the Atlantic Coast Conference. FSU's basketball team started the ACC in the 90s red hot with Sweet 16 and Elite 8 finishes in the NCAA tournament. The baseball team has advanced to the College World Series in all but 2 seasons this decade. The golf team competed in the NCAA tournament. The women's tennis team produced their first All-Americans, and former track All-Americans Michelle Finn and Kim Batten set world records. Softball coach Dr. Joanne Graff won her 800th game in 1995, and her Lady Seminoles were 3rd in the nation in 1990. And of course, the football team earned its first national championship in 1993. Entering from the South, please welcome our most recent FSU letter winners. The Marching Chiefs remember that exciting victory over Nebraska in the Orange Bowl with this stunning rendition of "We Are the Champions." the state of Florida's finest, the world-renowned Florida State University marching team. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take one more moment to show our appreciation to the letter winners who worked so hard to make our university something special. Let's celebrate 50 years of Florida State athletics.